Hello ladies, I accidentally got cut off of my last video, so figure out how to splice these two together, or you just watch them one after the other. And what comprehension is taking the information from all different sides of your brain and putting them together to get the right picture of something, or the right understanding of something. And you know, Christ offered the parables as a way, an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Maybe not a true story, but a story that had general truth in it, that was overall something everyone would understand, to enhance the meaning of something for people who couldn't comprehend it. And it's the same with the figures of speech. And there are a lot of figures of speech used in the Bible, but they have to learn to comprehend. And I have found that the whole problem with when we're in the people part here, the whole problem is that that people who like to contradict and argue are lacking in comprehension. And one of the things they like to do is take a segment of what you said and just deny it, and it makes conversation very unpleasant. And another thing that people might not understand, especially ladies, that sometimes ladies just like to get together and talk and have tea. It doesn't matter what they talk about. They're not trying to be real accurate or deeply intellectual. They're just enjoying the relaxation of being with other people and having tea. And then there's always one there that wants everyone to be so accurate that they correct every single little thing that they say. And that can be the most upsetting thing to watch. And you may find this happening even with your own children, and you have to warn them about it, because it's like having somebody take their nails and scrape across a chalkboard. It's very unappetizing. And so today I want to talk a little bit about that, because that's the people part that seems to be very common, is lack of comprehension. One reason that we don't have good comprehension is, of course, early education that tells you a story but doesn't tell you how to use your value system with it. And so one of the advantages of teaching your own children at home is that you can not only tell them a story, but you can tell them how to analyze the story, how to think about it, and what all to look for. And one of the books that I really enjoyed was McGuffey's Pictorial Eclectic Primer, and it was supposed to be to get children ready to read, but it's quite advanced actually, and it had a lot of what he calls woodcut drawings. And I found a story in here that just struck me as, it was a common teaching and a common story when I was growing up. And I want to read it to you and just show you how you can use comprehension. One good way to teach comprehension is if the story, whatever little story you have, even if your children aren't reading yet, to look at the pictures and point out different things in the pictures so that the children can understand the story when it's read. All right? And I think that they lose the ability. They don't have the ability to comprehend unless a parent will teach them how to comprehend something, how to understand it, how to put two and two together. One day, two boys went into a garden. They saw a bird's nest on a rose bush. Two little birds were in the nest. One of the boys said, "Let us take these birds into the house. We can put them in a cage. By and by they will sing for us." "No," said the other boy. "Birds have parents, as well as boys and girls. We will not take these young ones. The old birds will feel very sad. Our parents would be very sorry if we were stolen and put in a prison." And before the story, there are words, and these words are prison, birds, cage, other, sorry, young, old, stolen, parents, and garden. It's very important to have the words explained first, what every word means, so that when you start reading the story, the comprehension increases. And sometimes I think in a conversation at home among adults, we need to have words ahead of what we say, so that they'll know what we're talking about without all the arguing and the things that go on. You might have an aunt or a cousin or a friend that comes over, or even texts and talks to you, and they always have this argumentation going on in their head, which doesn't make for a pleasant day. And I remember this story, even though I didn't grow up on McGuffey readers. My mother was from the prairies in Alberta, Canada, and she had a very what I would, it wasn't a limited education, but it was very basic, and so by the time she was in 6th grade, she could read fluently, and they found no reason to go on further than that. And once you learned how to read, and you could comprehend, and you could add and subtract, and take care of your money, and look after things at home, there was not any reason to continue. And so but I didn't grow up with this book, but I wonder sometimes if she had these basic books, and my father too, because one of the first lessons that we were taught when we were out picking berries one day and came across a bird's nest was not to touch it, not to take the eggs, and if there were birds in it, not to touch the birds, not to take the birds home, because they had parents. So it was either a story that was familiar with everybody and then put in a book to help the children comprehend, or it was a story that everybody knew. I tend to think that it was generally understood by everyone even before it was written in a book. But this type of thing, now the comprehension comes from the teacher, the mother, who will go through the story and ask questions and tell. Sometimes asking questions is not a good idea if their judgment is not fully formed, but to tell them what the story is about and what the purpose of it is and what the lessons are in it, and then ask them again. So ladies, I hope that this has been very fruitful for you, that you got a lot done today. I'm sorry about the 2 videos, having to put the 2 videos together, and I hope to see you again soon. And so thanks for coming. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for your prayers, and those of you who give me ideas and help, and I love your comments. They give me lots of ideas. And so I'll see you next time. Bye.